When conflict is high and each parent is easily triggered, it's best to minimize communication and instead engage in parallel parenting. What is parallel parenting? It means forming a business-like relationship and only talking about your child's needs, avoiding any discussion of your personal lives. In other words, rather than pretending that you guys are on the same page, just avoid the hot-button topics that get you angry. Then, when you do communicate, use the skills taught here. When you find yourself starting to react emotionally or defensively, you can use the simple stop, look, listen skill. Stop what you're doing or about to say. Look at all your options. Listen to your better nature. This is a way to bring your frontal lobes into play and access the part of your brain that helps you see the possible consequences of your words and actions. It also can help you have good judgment or make use of your conscience. In other words, stop, look, listen can help you avoid saying or doing something that you'll later regret. It is important for children to have similar standards and expectations in each home. It helps them transition between homes and provides consistency. Many people think that the answer to high conflict relationships is to not communicate. Yes, that is better than fighting in front of the children. But it is not the best answer if your goal is to protect them. Communicating better is the answer. It's difficult to be supportive of your ex's parenting time when you have a history of high conflict. Parallel parenting with minimal contact is easier, but cooperative co-parenting takes the stress off the child. It helps if each parent is mindfully aware of what they're feeling, monitoring their reactions in the moment to avoid being triggered and experiencing an amygdala hijack. An amygdala hijack happens when the amygdala takes over and prevents us from using good judgment. When parents become aware of this hijack starting, they can take steps to engage the problem-solving part of their brains, the frontal lobes, in order to gain control. Take deep breaths. Tune in to signs that your body is tense. Be aware of your children and how things affect them. Use self-talk and stop, look, and listen to plan your response. And finally, don't assume bad motives in your ex.
When you understand how your mind works, you gain more control and lower your stress. Here's how your mind works. The higher outermost layers of your brain are known as your cortex. When you use this part of your brain, you're accessing your cortical mind. Your cortical mind gathers information from the senses, which we call perception. They can also be stored and retrieved as memories. Sometimes our cortical mind makes creative changes to those representations, which we call imagination. The cortical mind also reasons and processes thoughts. When our cortical mind can perceive, know, imagine, and reason, we can problem solve, and so our lives work better. But for the cortical mind to function to problem solve, there has to be enough safety. There's a part of your mind that is always working on knowing whether or not you're emotionally and physically safe. If the answer is not safe, you leave your cortical mind and go into your brainstem, whose function is survival. Here you can still sense things, but the information is less detailed so that it can be transmitted rapidly, allowing you to act quickly. An important part of the gateway between the cortical mind and brainstem is the amygdala, which helps you to know how you feel and if you are safe. When you feel safe, the pathway opens to your cortical mind, and you can process different ideas and possible actions much better, allowing you to make good decisions. An example is when you hear a car backfiring and you immediately become startled. Your amygdala, or fear center, forces you to downshift into your brainstem. After a brief moment, you relax a little. Then your cortical mind starts to process more of the information it received, helping you assess that there is no risk, that the sound was not a gunshot, but a car. For combat veterans with PTSD, the neural circuits that react to loud noises are so hardwired that their stress reaction to a car backfiring is prolonged and intense. Their cortical mind, or thinking brain, doesn't kick in for some time. And if you're a parent in ongoing stressful conflict, It is similar to PTSD. Your stress reactions can also be intense. It is difficult, but you can teach your brain to soften your response to perceived threats.